All right, guys, you know my next guest is the man behind City Kickboxing and such fighters as Israel Adesanya, Dan Hooker, Carlos Ulberg, and many more. But not only that, he is kicking off a nationwide charity campaign for the Walk Without Fear Trust, promoting awareness of the devastating consequences of one-punch attacks and social violence on victims and families. He joins me here today on as the campaign rages on. Eugene Bareman, welcome to Submission Radio, man.
Hey, Dennis, yeah, it's good to be back. It's been a while.
I know. Well, I have had a lot of fun with this new campaign that you guys are doing. Of course, it's very, very serious. But you kind of put your hand up, man. You wanted it to go viral. So I want to share a little bit of this for people at home. This is, of course, in the Walk Without Fear Trust Instagram page. Have a look at Eugene Bareman, baby. Look at there's a good bit over here. Look at this. So smooth. Look at that. How the hell did they talk you into doing that? Please tell me. How did this come together? I have to know.
Yeah, look, the younger fellas taught me into it. They said it'd be a good opening for our charity. Have a bit of fun. Yeah, way out of my comfort zone, Dennis, but I just sucked it up and got on with it. So yeah, that's a one time only.
Who was obviously Izzy? He's kind of like the Eugene Bareman in the situation, right? Like you have to actually take instruction from him. What was that like to flip that dynamic around a little bit?
Yeah, no, he choreographed the whole thing. Obviously, he's a dancing guy, and he coached me through it. And he's an interesting coach. I haven't been coached for a long time, for many years. So it was interesting to be on the other end of it. But he's a bit of a hard taskmaster. He wants the timing and all the moves pretty correct. So it did take me a long time to get things up to his satisfactory requirements.
How do you rate the other boys and their moves?
I mean, honestly, Dennis, the irony is I spent 3 months getting that perfectly in time, and then they decided they'd use the one where I'm off time because that was more comedic and it looked funny. So I looked at that and said, well, what was the point of me practicing for 3 months when you used the top one when I was off? So in the end, I feel like I was a little bit hard done by, mate.
Well, let me tell you though, man, this is a serious campaign. It's open. Obviously, it's nationwide. People in New Zealand, they can win a BMW. You can break that down for us in just a second. But internationally, you can still donate to the cause. You can still get amongst it. Break it down for us. This is a pretty cool thing that you guys are doing.
Yeah, it's really cool. A lot of people know that we lost a very important member of our team a number of years ago. And ever since then, we've been dealing with that tragedy, but we've also just been inundated with people reaching out with their stories. And basically what we discovered is that crime, that coward punching crime is going on every weekend in this country, all up and down the country, every weekend and every week. And it's just a horrific, alarming amount of incidences there are. So we just, I got the boys together and said, well, what do we want to do? And we unanimously voted that we wanted to do something about it. And we want to change the minds and hearts of the people, and we want them to kind of look at this as we want them to admonish us and be like, man, this is a very, very unworthy, low sort of an act to be a part of. And we just want to raise money so that we can get our message right up and down the country, because at the moment we've got a wonderful message and a lot of young people in New Zealand are listening to us. But we want to scale that. We want to get that out to a greater audience. So that's what the fundraising about is, just a way for us to scale our project and get it to more young people and get it up and down New Zealand.
Obviously, it helps the culture, changes young people's minds on it. But in terms of advocating for change with government, just give us a quick idea. What is ideally what the proposal is, and have you gotten any headway with any of the people in government in New Zealand to potentially propose this in the near future?
Yeah, well, we actually have we have a bill that's being read to Parliament right now, which completely changes everything and brings things closer in line to what you guys have in Australia. And so that will single out the coward punch as an actual crime, because at the moment it gets dealt with, under grievous bodily harm and other general violent crimes like that. So it'll specifically target it as its own crime, the coward punch. And along with that will come its own minimum sentences and its own kind of precedents that will be set around the punishment in terms of that law. So we're actually on the precipice of making some fantastic law change. We just have to keep pushing it. It's being read in Parliament. I would say that we're looking pretty good for that to become law, but it still needs a push. And the other important thing, law can't do it alone. What really will change is when people's hearts and minds get touched and they're aware of this crime and they're aware of the impact that it has on young people and families.
I know you've got a lot of accomplishments, obviously, with CKB, former champions in the MMA world, kickboxing world. But for you personally, being able to do this with your team and your fighters and potentially have this bill put into action and also change the minds of young people on this really important issue, what does this mean to you personally, being able to be a part of this?
For me personally, it's fantastic. I'm definitely someone who thinks a lot about how self-centered our sport is and how self-centered we are as a team and athletes. And you have to be that way, right? You have to be that way when you're at the top of the world. You have to be very selfish, and you have to funnel all your energy into one sole purpose. But this makes me feel really good. This makes me feel that we're doing more than just looking after ourselves and our immediate circle. This makes me feel like we are using a little bit of a platform that we've created, especially in this country, for greater good. And normally we don't get a chance to do that. Normally it's very self-centered and we're trying to, look after ourselves and look after our immediate team. But this feels like really good for our soul and for us as a team. We are trying to affect change with our platform that is greater than just our immediate team. And for me, man, I'm right behind this. It feels good.
Well, I've got the link in the description below as well. So if anyone wants to find out more information, you could click that, check out the video, make sure you donate, get amongst it. Even if you're international, get into it. Now, let's go into a little bit of fight talk, man, because obviously you guys are killing it in the game. First things first, when I told people you were coming on, the big question was, what is next for Izzy? Who is Izzy going to fight? Who do you think could be next for Izzy? People see Paulo Costa. He looks like he's matched up. We got Sean Strickland. He's in anger management. Robert Whittaker told me earlier this week there is no chance we see a third fight between the two. Ideally, if it was up to you, who would you like to see Izzy come back against in the middleweight division?
Man, honestly, I haven't really thought of. I haven't gone that far and thought about opponents. Like Izzy right now had basically the start of the year off. And he has come back into the training in the last couple of months. And he's training regularly, so he's training every day, twice a day. And he needs to prepare his mind and body for a potential fight at the end of this year. And so that's what he's doing. In terms of opponents, I don't know. I mean, Izzy's got a couple more in him. Just give him a fun fight. Give him something exciting. Give him something fun. I haven't really thought about specific names. That could leave it to the fans, I guess.
Another fight people are talking about is MVP, but they're friends, and I feel like their styles might cancel each other's out a little bit. Their striking styles. MVP and Izzy might be.
Yeah, it could be. Could be one of those long rangey strikers. Yeah, trying to get. Yeah. I don't know. I mean. I don't know their relationship. I've had a little bit of interaction with MVP. He's a cool guy. He's a nice guy. But yeah, I don't know if they'll fight each other. Not sure.
I remember you broke down after the Sean Strickland fight. Me and Casper came up to the hotel. We did an interview, and you broke down just a couple of changes or a couple of things that were happening in that fight. For you personally, like with Izzy, how fun would it be to get a chance to rematch Sean to sort of fix up a couple of those things that you saw on the night that you were like, "Ooh, we could really take advantage of this in a second fight"?
Yeah, I think naturally, like, as a fighter, as he wants to get that one back. I think that's just natural. He knows that, he knows Sean got the better of him. You can't take nothing away from Sean that night. But I think Izzy or us as a team feel that we can definitely put on a better performance than we did against Strickland. But that was his night. Sean got the job done, and did he defend the title, or did he? And he held the title for a little bit. So yeah, that was his night.
Would love to see a healthy Izzy against Sean. Let me ask you this. As one of the best coaches in the world, what was your reaction when you saw the domination that Khamzat had over Dricus du Plessis just a few weeks ago?
I haven't watched that fight yet.
You didn't watch it? You would love it. Like technique-wise, It was a fascinating matchup. Khamzat had him on the ground in the crucifix. It was one of the most dominating grappling performances probably in championship history. It was incredibly crazy.
Awesome. No, the guys I've seen the guy fight. I haven't watched that fight, but the guy's a talent. The guy's a machine. I've watched a lot of him. I just haven't watched that particular fight yet. But yeah, no, I mean, man, the guy's a definite talent. And he's going to have he's going to have an interesting time at the top, man. Welcome to the top, brother. Like, it's easy to get there, but it's, that's in terms of staying there and getting there, staying there is a lot harder. So all the targets go on to him, and everybody has a weakness. Doesn't matter who you are. So you might have seen a dominating performance in that fight, but it's all about the different styles and how they match up. And we've also seen him in great difficulty in some fights. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. And congratulations to him and all the best to him. I hope he has a long reign.
Some crazy crop of contenders next. We've got Kaya Bahaya. He's fighting Imavov just this weekend in Paris. But then we have this emerging star in RDR who's had 5 wins this year. I mean, this is his 5th fight. He's going into his 5th fight against Anthony Hernandez, who absolutely had a shout-out performance against Roman Dolidze. Who are you most interested to see against Khamzat? Who do you think brings the most challenge to him?
Bahario is his name.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen him fight. RDR, funnily enough, you asked about RDR. I just watched him fight Bo Knuckle. That was like last night. So I just RDR and Hernandez I've never seen fight. So, but I think RDR is a really, really interesting challenge. And I'd seen RDR fight on one championship before. I think he's a really interesting challenge. Yeah. I mean, I don't see RDR being able to cancel Khamzat's wrestling out in terms of his takedowns, but I think RDR could pose an interesting threat off his back, maybe. But I think where RDR will have to kind of try and get an advantage is maybe in a clinch type situation. I don't think it's good to be on a man of Khamzat's experience on your back. I just don't think that's a good position to be, even if you do consider yourself very high level off your back there. So I think there could be some interesting exchanges in the clinch.
It's crazy because the division has so many rising contenders in it. Let's switch topics for a second to our friend Dan Hooker. It's crazy because for the first time ever, he's not rushing to come back, right? He admitted that the UFC wanted to see him fight a bit sooner, but he's actually taking time for the first time ever to let his hand heal up and to maybe return around November. How refreshing is that for you? You know, Dan Hooker actually giving himself time to rest up and heal up before a return.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we always wanted him to not rush himself and take it easy, but it is what it is. Like, he also wouldn't be Dan Hooker if he did that, you know? He might not be where he is now if he did that. So you can't like think of things in that manner. But it's good. And Dan's a little bit older now. It's good he take a little bit more time. And but he's in the gym. He's in the gym. Him and Izzy kind of started like properly training every day a few months ago. So him and Izzy are looking like, yeah, they're starting to look like old times, mate. Starting to look like old times.
What do you think of Arman Sarukian? I mean, that's the fight that Dan wants. That's the fight that a lot of fans would love to see. Do you like Arman as the next fight for Dan potentially in November?
Yeah. I think Arman's an excellent fighter. Like Arman's one of the best fighters in the world. I watched him fight Makachev. I've watched him fight Gamrot, I believe. Like I said, I don't. I only watch the fights if it's a former opponent. So Dan's fought Gamrot. That's where I saw. That's where I managed to see Zarukian and obviously Makachev as an opponent. So that's where I run into these guys. Other than that, I'm not going out of my way to watch another goddamn UFC. So he's a very good opponent and an interesting fight, a bit of a clash of styles. I think that'll be a cool fight. So, I mean, when the UFC can negotiate that, we're good to go.
I feel like people are kind of sleeping on Dan a little bit in that fight. Obviously, Arman has had a lot of success, but like for those people that are ruling Dan out of that fight, like break it down for us. What is it that makes this a dangerous fight for Arman? Because Dan is a very dangerous guy to take on, especially a healthy Dan Hooker.
Yeah, I mean, why would you? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I don't know why people would sleep on Dan. Dan is one of the top 15 fighters in the world, and the fact of the matter is, in the top 15, any one of those guys can take each other out. That's just the nature of being at that level of the sport. So, I don't know why they're sleeping on him, mate. I honestly don't get into it, but yeah, I mean, Dan has the ability to take Arman out, just like Arman has the ability to take him out. So, like I said before, welcome to the top. It's just murderer's row, if you know what I mean.
Hey, another massive fight in Perth. You got Carlos Ulberg taking on Dominic Reyes, and dude, Carlos Ulberg again, another fighter on a massive tear. How do you rate Dominic Reyes? Obviously, he's a veteran. He's been able to get on a bit of a run. There was a point where it looked like he might have been down and out, and now he's gone off a streak. You guys have obviously beaten some really tough guys like Jan Blachowicz and stuff like that, but how do you feel about Dominic Reyes as the main event challenge here in Perth?
Mate, Dominic Reyes, you can't count fighters out because they have a few losses. Look at the man you just talked about, Dan Hooker. But you don't, you've got to look a little deeper. Like, what were the circumstances behind those losses? Like, why did they lose? For a lot of Dan's losses, there's a couple there that he just got, he just got beaten and caught. But there's a good many losses where I knew there was so much more going on behind that loss than what people know about. And so you just can't count people out. Dominic Reyes arguably beat John Jones. Just think about that for a second. Think about the number of people that John Jones has just walked through, and then think back to that fight. That shows how much of a talent he is. We're taking him very, very. It's a big task ahead of Carlos to get one over him.
Yeah, it's interesting as well, right? Because the UFC have Khalil and Jiri on the same card as the Ankalaev rematch with Pereira. But obviously a win over Dominic Reyes in Perth, that should put Carlos Ulberg in a pretty good spot to get the next title shot.
I mean, Carlos has just gone through everybody and he's been very, very dominant. Even though lately, as the upper echelon of the division, he's been competing with a little bit tough, so he hasn't got them out of there. They've still been relatively dominant performances, right? Mm-hmm. And so definitely if we can dominate Reyes, and especially if we can stop him, just no one has that same record going into a fight like Carlos has. He's just, it's just outstanding, and that's what kind of makes him, the leading contender. if we can get a spectacular win, then I think that definitely puts Carlos ahead of everybody else. But yeah, it's a bit of a logjam at the top there, mate. You just don't know what they're going to do. But we're going to try and solidify our spot. And obviously, we think Carlos deserves his shot.
Do you feel like a lot of other fans that Ankalaev gets it done against Pereira in this rematch?
You can never just assume that when you're fighting someone like Alex Pereira. You know what I mean? That's you fans. I don't know. Maybe fans think everybody has that sort of power, but that's the different power that is only one in every million fighters have. And he's got a gift, and you're never safe. Doesn't matter how much wrestling you do or where you're from, or none of that matters, because that's a gift that Ankalaev doesn't have. And Pereira can take you out, and next minute you're waking up on the ground, and that's a special gift, and you just can't count someone out like that.
Guys, if you're looking for the best VPN in the game, hit the link in the description below and try out IP VANISH VPN. They are giving you guys a crazy 83% off. That's right, 83% off. Have a look over here. That's only $2.19 a month that starts at. Check that out. These are the options that you have, and you guys get that 3 gigabyte eSIM data gift and a 30-day money-back guarantee if you try it today. It is, of course, blazing fast. There is no logs, advanced encryption. It's truly unlimited. There are so many benefits to having a VPN. If you guys want to watch all of your favorite shows, if you guys want to check out all of the different events from around the world that might not be featured in your country, if you guys want deals on flights and products and all sorts of other things, IP VANISH VPN really has you sorted. So do me a favor, click below right now. You support the program when you do. Give this thing a try. 83% off, one of the best VPNs in the game right now. So affordable. Don't worry about having to pay $30, $40 for a VPN. Have one today for as cheap as that. 83% off. My gosh, IP VANISH has you sorted. If you're a submission radio watcher, fan, listener, click on the description below and get started on IP VANISH today. Quickly, before I let you go to the wedding, I've got a couple of fan questions here. First question, any insights on Kai's future? Do you have any updates for us, Huge? Any updates on Kai Kara France?
Yeah, I mean, Kai's just obviously is extremely disappointing, with the last result. So Kai's just spending a lot of time outside the gym with his family. And I think he'll fight again. But, I'd be lying if he said he's not just thinking about the next part of his life, like what he's going to do. But I think he's still got a few fights in him, and he's still a very dangerous fighter. Like, he can still take out some of those top contenders. As you know, like, he's got some power and he can still do some damage in that division. So he's still a threat. But at the moment, he's just taking it easy, spending a lot of time with his family and just thinking about the future.
Well, I think fans would love to see him back. He's one of the most exciting guys in that division, and I hope we see him back. What is your favorite fighter currently or of all time, and why? Do you have one? It doesn't have to be from CKB. That's your favorite all time.
Yeah, so right now to be honest, I'm watching, so I'm not a big UFC watcher, but I watch specific guys because I want to pick something up. So at the moment, I'm watching a lot of Sean Brady. Yeah, him and his team, they've really systemized a lot of stuff, and you can pick up a lot of stuff from Sean Brady's game. And who else am I watching? I'm watching a bit of Jack. Jack's a very interesting guy. Like, he's got some very unique kind of wrestling situations that he gets into that are specifically his. So I'm just watching a bit of Jack to pick up some of that. Who else am I watching? Yeah, I did a bit of RDR last night because the boys mentioned some of his work in the clinch, so that kind of piqued my interest. So looking, I'll probably look at a lot more RDR just to try to, pick up some of what he's doing in the clinch. Yeah, those are my guys I'm watching at the moment, I guess.
Go watch RDR Robert Whittaker and then text me what you thought about that fight. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Final question here, of course, Islam versus JDM. That's going to be the next big fight in New York. You know Islam pretty well. You know, Volk's fought him twice. What is your feel on this one? And also, what do you think of the odds, man? Islam very heavy favorite going into this one.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I was obviously backing Jack. Like, Jack's, you know, he's one of the boys from our neighborhood, so he's from our side of the world. And look, Islam, there's a blueprint for beating Islam. He's been knocked out before. And Volk's beaten him already. You know what I'm saying? People going to come in the comments about that. But yeah, there's a bit of a blueprint out there. Look, if you can, obviously it's a difficult thing to counter the wrestling, but Islam, you know, you'll find holes. What you have to do with Islam is you have to get him. He's very good at throwing one shot. He can pick you off and throw one shot very well. But you need to put Islam in a position where he has to fight to win the round, and that means he has to put 2 and 3 punches together. His vulnerabilities come when he has to fight with you and put 2 or 3 punches together. That's when the holes start appearing, and that's because you just, you know, like, yeah, you're a wrestler. Like, at a high level, the holes start really appearing when there's a lot of pressure, and you have to put 2 or 3 punches together to hang with the other person. And that's where Jack will find the vulnerabilities. But they know that, bro. They're a very smart team, and yeah, it's a very interesting fight.
We've seen Volk obviously on the ground with Islam. Do you think that, you know, JDM's jiu-jitsu and wrestling defense is a little bit underrated? I mean, we saw how well he did against Bilal.
It's massively underrated, and like any good coach has to look at the subtleties that goes on, and man, Jack's got some very unique stuff that he does, and you've got to do something against Islam, against an opponent of that caliber. You've got to come up with something a little bit off the cuff, a little bit out of the box, and Jack's the perfect guy to do that. So I don't know. I'm obviously supporting Jack, and I'm obviously very aware of Islam's vulnerabilities, and I think he's the guy that could maybe take advantage of some of those.
Well, dude, I can't wait to see that fight. But all in all, you guys are killing it right now. Obviously, with the opportunity for people to jump in and become a part of this Walk Without Fear Trust competition. I've got the link below. So everybody out there, make sure to click it. Make sure to enter whether you're international or local. It's a fantastic cause. And of course, you guys have so much cooking when it comes to your team. You'll be in Perth headlining very, very shortly with Carlos Ulberg, and a lot more happening. Eugene Bareman, go enjoy your wedding. I appreciate you braving the elements and joining me from your car.
Yeah, thanks, Dennis. Awesome. Good to talk to you.